GM, give me just a second, guys. GM,
GM, walking fam.
what is going on, sir?
GM.
GM.
How we doing today, fam? How we doing?
GM.
Oh man, doing great. Dude, I have been so freaking swamped trying to like button up everything with my like the taxes stuff to try to knock it out by October 16th. It's gonna happen. It is going to happen. But in typical fashion, the procrastination style things, like some late nights, the past couple of nights, like working on a few things to get there, just gets a little bit clunkier, even with a good accountant, right? Like it still gets a little bit clunkier when you're talking about on-chain stuff and some other things to just keep track of it all.
So I have a feeling my aunt does our taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and with NFT stuff, and this being the first of really messing with it, is going to she is going to murder me. So I have no doing. I keep spreadsheets and records of everything, and yeah, she's going to kill me.
Bro, you know what I like? I feel like the previous years when I didn't have nearly as much activity, I would just kind of group it together. And this is like what my accountant, that I back then told me to do too. He wasn't, specialized in crypto, but basically lumped a bunch of shit together, called it various transactions, and then just did like the net P&L of whatever it was, right? Because, I feel like at above or below a certain scale, it's just not worth keeping track of every individual transaction. And obviously, none of this is whatever advice. But the real thing that you need to just do is show that you made an honest effort with all of this stuff, right? Like, and I think what's taking a crap ton of time for me this time is like I am showing every single transaction on every single wallet, every single exchange, etc. So it just takes a little bit more time collecting all that.
I gotta ask, how many transactions? Just ballpark figure. You don't have to hit the nail on the head, but I just gotta
Oh,
know.
I mean, total between everything. Well, okay, here's the deal though. Something a lot of people don't realize. So the total transactions probably around 1 million. But the the thing that a lot of people like, that number sounds insane, right? And it is, but whenever you make an order, for instance, on a centralized exchange, say that you buy like $1 million worth of BTC, or say that you're trying to buy 10 BTC, right? So you buy 10 BTC, going long, most likely whatever price on the order book that's above you isn't just going to be 110 BTC clean block from one seller, right? If it was, that would fill in one transaction. Otherwise, what you get is, even at individual prices, if there is enough liquidity on the book, like the 10 BTC that you have filled may be like, 100 different transactions from 100 different sellers that all have various sizes within that fill or that ask price. So there may be like, one person that's selling zero point 0.1 BTC at that price, another person selling one, another person selling 0.001. So all of those together in that one transaction that it feels like you made, it's actually like 100 transactions in that one click.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. I mean, I could see where it adds up, like you were just explaining, but goddamn, man, million, wow, that's a lot, brother.
Yeah. So after Monday, I will have a huge weight off my shoulders having fully taken care
I
of.
love how you like put accountant as a singular, but it's really like you should have a team of
Oh, I do.
accountants.
Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I've got a, there's a firm or whatever that is working on things, but still, yeah, I've got to still do my legwork as well to get them the info they need and help with some of the interpretation, identification, that type of stuff. So yeah, yeah.
Well, even at that, your gifting of NFTs, you've got friggin' hundreds of those you've given
Well,
away
bro,
here in the.
even that, right? Like, I was talking through it. So the gifting of NFTs, I mean, they told me, okay, like that can count as a business expense, right? So even tracking down the gifting of NFTs and going through like the whole collecting all of that and the whole trail behind each one of them and how those are anyway, so like a lot of that takes a while as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Wild, man. Absolutely wild.
But anyway, sorry to I'm sure I'm the last, the only person on Twitter that has not completed this yet. So
Hey, I got a question for you guys. I'm trying out my new AirPods right now. How's the audio sound?
audio sounds great.
So clean.
Awesome. Great. I had somebody tell me, I think it was last week, like every time I go back into your recorded spaces, I always hear this weird clicking noise, and I finally figured out what it is. It was the wired headphones I had. The speaker keeps rubbing up against my beard.
What?
So, yeah, dude, that was that crinkly, like, crazy sound going on for so long. Finally, after a year, I fixed it, though. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, man. That's amazing. And there are little things like that unless you do go back and intentionally listen through a lot of the content again, then it's tough to catch that.
No, 100%, man.
110%.
So how's
Man.
110%? Oh yeah. So, little news on our end. We on room 110, and we finalized our lodging for Miami, so we're booked up.
Let's
Just wanted
go.
to put the feeler out there for everybody else who hasn't done it yet. Spots are looking a little slim, so get on it, people. It's going to be a wild time, man. Have a wonky meetup and all.
That's exciting, man. What part of town did you guys end up going with?
Dude, we are in a penthouse in Wynwood.
Nice. Perfect
Yeah.
area for that.
2-story penthouse, huge balcony. It's literally on top of everything in the art district. So I think that'll work out pretty well for everybody.
Bro, I forget you and Baby last year, y'all were staying like a little bit further out, right? I think I remember that because you had a little bit more of a commute to get over there. But I mean, you did it like so last second that like everything was already booked, I think, whenever you guys made the decision to go.
Yeah, it was a last minute kind of thing. And yeah, we ended up staying like, I think it was North South Beach area. And we were just away from everything. But yeah, doing
Actually,
our
okay,
due
if
diligence.
North South Beach, you guys weren't too far then.
Yeah, we weren't too bad. But yeah, doing it this year, we had a lot of planning ahead of time, and I think we're actually going to try to do like a networking event too. Trying to plan out the details on that, but I'll announce that a little bit more as we find out some more information for everybody too.
Nice, man. Exciting stuff. So yeah, man, that's exciting stuff. I mean, I will say, just I think the headache that you'll have being in Wynwood versus North South Beach, like because the issue that you were bringing up with the north side of South Beach is not many of the events are on North South Beach, and even though it may be only a few miles away, like an Uber will still take you 30, 45 minutes to get wherever you
Yeah,
want. And
an hour.
you're still going to pay $50 just to try to do that, right? Because it is so freaking
Right.
congested. I'm hoping, I haven't been there since let's see, I guess April, but from what I can guess and assume, I think they'll still have that construction on the main roads there. And bro, that construction just holds everything up down there.
Yeah, and also just trying to get across a bridge, right? I mean, you got South Beach, then you got to go across the bay right there to get to downtown Brickell, Wynwood area, and you can literally sit in that traffic for an hour. So I think being centrally located in the Wynwood area is good just for the event type stuff and the vibes too. I mean, got a lot of cool bars, a lot of cool restaurants around there. So I think it'll be a good central location for everybody.
Yeah, bro, just the stuff in Wynwood, as far as, a daily what you want to do perspective, it's so much better vibes than South Beach, in my opinion, because yeah, you can walk to a really cool restaurant, really cool bar, where I feel like a lot of the stuff that you can walk to on South Beach is going to be super, super trashy. And, if it's not super trashy, it's like 10 times overpriced and crowded.
Oh yeah, and staying in North South Beach last year, not even like directly South Beach. I mean, it was $1,000 a night. That's for most people cannot do that, and that's well, we actually got a hell of a deal in this penthouse, so we're really amped up about it, man. Allocate some funds to some extracurricular activities.
Love it, man. Love it. Oh, so Cube, are you on the road this week, my man? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm in the office right now. I got a deadline for some work stuff on some prepay, so literally just doing computer stuff, and then I got to make a video for work. So just knocking this out, coming and vibing with you here in Wonktober, and God, getting close to the anniversary, and need to start putting some of these other giveaways, some information on that together here. So everybody, keep your eyes peeled for the LedgArt account. What we're going to be firing out here later.
Yes, sir. So the one thing that we were talking about yesterday on my space whenever Bogfather came up, that I actually think is really important as far as talking about with the stonks and with everything, kind of the vision, everything else with it is, the Yuga case that came out recently, right? Like the Yuga case that being presented, right? Like basically against ApeCoin, I think the other side, Meta, all that type of stuff. It just, really, I think, re-emphasizes the importance right now of having, like it just puts into question a lot of the, like the tokenomics that you see with various projects out there. And I don't want to say that it defeats or kills anything like that, right? Like there's solid projects that, obviously it's going to take time to be able to work through. But, I think it goes back to kind of showing some of the inherent value of just having a project that's focused on the art, right?
Well, and to your point, and I was in part of your spaces when you guys were talking about that. It's not the lemon test. It was, I forget whatever.
Howie.
The Howie test, right? And how it really can truly encompass everything. But you guys kind of hit on it a little bit too, where the stonks, it's really about the community, no roadmap, no, other than the networking opportunity and us talking trading and whatnot over in Discord and on Twitter. There's no inherent liability with the collection and any problems that can come from there. So if it's me, right, you and Bog and some of the other people are talking about it, I think some of these art collections going forward, at least while this Yuga case is going on, look pretty damn good right now, right?
There's actually I don't know who did it. I think it was Greenvic in our Discord in the meme channel. I don't know if you've seen it lately, Clay. The memes have been dropping hardcore in the meme channel in the Discord, and they just made a really cool meme. It's can't get investigated by the SEC because the charts are the art or something like that. It's a fucking hilarious meme, man. You got to look at it.
That's got to be the leader in the clubhouse right now. Kalea, we might have to throw more than 2 or 3 because there have been some really good memes coming in.
I'm down, bro. I'm down. Dude, let's see. I actually don't think that I have yet. I need to go over and check it out. Dude, I've been so distracted with this others. So let's see. But that is a solid one. I'm excited for, still going through this. And, for anybody that's listening in here, the memes you have through the end of the month. Right. So the memes are one of them. And then, the other one that's actively going on right now, is we're giving away 3 stonks randomly to, anybody that purchases a stonk this month, so if you purchase one this month, all purchases are basically random, thrown in for, I guess you could say, a ticket. And, we'll randomly select a few of those purchases and, send those wallets an extra stonk, at the end of the month as
I
well.
pinned it up at the top too, just in case anybody needs to see it.
Then, additionally, we're going to be doing some stuff like we mentioned last week here for some impromptu Royal Rumble. So have notifications on in the Discord or on LedgArt. Give some stuff away there. And then Kaleo, man, cool on you with the synergy and getting other communities involved as you're a collector and many others. But you giving some little pudgies away and some frogs, and hell, you're talking about giving away some other stuff. So.
Oh yeah. No, we've got the list. So, PA will be given away as well. PA Genesis, giving away a panda. There's several other things on that list as well that, we're going to make sure here by the end of the month that, all that stuff as part of the, the Wonktober celebration is given out. So yeah, be on the lookout. All of that stuff is going to happen. But yeah, no, it's exciting, man. It's fun to be able to tie all that in. So I'm curious for y'all, going into Art Basel, going back to that, sorry for going back. What are the main things, highlights that you guys are looking for to achieve that week kind of while you're there? What is your focus and kind of intent? And yeah, kind of curious, especially for anybody out there that's in the crowd that, hasn't necessarily committed to anything like that before, what you guys are looking for going into it.
Let me jump in because I have to leave and start working.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I just want to say what's up to everybody. I appreciate everybody. Thank you to 80s Baby for putting together that the daily I don't know what you call it, everyday reminder of things that happen. It's great. I was looking back at it. I wasn't engaging too much then, so shame on me, but I'm trying to change that now. And as far as Art Basel, just putting faces to PFPs, the names, and just connecting deeper. I'm so excited for that. And being in Miami in December would be really nice too, because I'm in the Northeast, and escaping winter for a weekend is going to be great. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's fucking go.
Escaping winter? Are you telling me it's cold in certain parts of the country right now?
Not now, but in December it certainly will be.
Oh yeah. You're right. Like, what am I thinking? December's a little bit of a ways away. It will be cold by then.
Kaleo's so knee deep in taxes right now, he doesn't even know what season we're in right now.
Bro, I really don't. Being honest, I am between that and then, heck, I need to scroll through and make sure that she isn't listening. Okay, we're good. Between that and the girlfriend's birthday stuff this weekend, man, it just, yeah.
So happy birthday to the girlfriend, man. Throw some hundreds up for the girlfriend, everyone. Happy birthday.
Okay, dude, I will say on the topic of all that, again, I'm hopping all over the place right here. Did you guys read about the brown backpack guy drama from the DevCon conference?
It's so hard to keep up with the drama in this space. Fill us in.
Dude, okay, I just was reading through all the threads last night. Basically, this guy, he was near this photo booth area, and, a photographer was telling people to jump during certain pictures, and, this group of women at Blue Dow were taking a picture and they were crouching, and he yelled over to them, "You should jump, it'll look better." And they responded back basically like, "Who are you?" And ended up leading to this whole escalation of, them feeling like they were being attacked by this guy. So they, brought it up to conference organizers, and they came over, talked to him, and like it almost felt like these ladies kind of stalked him for the next couple of days and just posted all this stuff on Twitter. And the guy like ended up having his picture out there from one of the girls that took the picture of him, saying that he was being creepy, stalking him, and doing this and that. When it really looks like the other way around, after multiple people have come out, that like it was kind of the other way around. The girls were almost stalking him, but he got kicked out of multiple parties and events, had people talking behind his, it all just started from this misunderstanding of, during the picture, he was with the photographer throughout the day, and he said, like, jump during the picture. And I don't know. It's tough to describe it all, man, but it's just one of those things where it kind of it kind of makes you realize, okay, even at these type of events, you still have to be careful, because you never know what people are going to try to cancel you for and like accuse you of during an event. And, not to say that there aren't threats of people actually being creepy at certain things, but again, it just, I guess in this day and age, you just really have to be extremely careful when you're in person, because you never know how people are going to react to the littlest things.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's like that in every facet of humanity right now, brother. I mean, the cancel culture is real. It's a metastasizing cancer that just keeps spreading and spreading everywhere. And we're going to end up canceling ourselves into a freaking hole if we're not careful, man. It's like, we are not the arbiters of truth of everybody's life. And everybody really needs to bring that into their true self and realize, man, there's so much more to this than trying to cancel somebody over something so simple.
I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate. The thing I'd say, it boils back, and I learned this lesson being a smart ass little kid from, my teachers at school and my parents, but think before you speak, think before you act. And especially when, it doesn't necessarily pertain to the story you just told, Cleo, but I mean, when posting shit on the internet, eventually that shit can find its way back to you. So you got to be constantly mindful of that. It's unfortunate, that's where we're at, but just always be thinking long term, how's this shit going to age 5-10 years down the road?
Well, it's also ripple effects, right? It's like, and having awareness of what we're doing. I mean, if we're pure intention with whatever we're trying to deliver and somebody doesn't like it, that's their opinion. I mean, that should not stop us from living our life or living our truth, really. But having a certain level of awareness with the climate, yeah, sure, you can have that, but still shouldn't check out of who you are as a person just because X, Y, and Z group over here doesn't agree with it or doesn't align with it. Be your true self, man. Let that shit fly.
No, I agree with that, man. I mean, that's my thing too. And one of the things that's a little bit more, one of the few factors that's slightly more intimidating about doxing is just the idea that, man, it's much easier. I feel like as soon as your face and everything else is out there, for that cancel culture to really start to appropriate itself, maybe, not necessarily just in Twitter, but like in the outside world as well, right? If you say or do something, then that type of stuff can carry over. And, again, like that is one of the advantages of being undoxed. Obviously, like the bigger advantage, I think, is OPSEC. But the other stuff still definitely exists. And like, it grows more and more as years go on, more and more of a potential issue.
But I mean, what are we talking about here then? Are we talking about like appeasing others to live your own life, or are you talking about being free to be yourself again, like I mentioned before? I mean, being doxxed or undoxxed, I mean, somebody could pull something from my life being doxxed and they can cancel me or attempt to cancel me or try to give me hell for it. the end of the day, they don't know my life. They don't know my struggles. They don't know what I've overcome. The same thing for you, the same thing for everybody else. To have that level of awareness that we're all human beings and we're all just trying to walk each other home, man, at the same time. Some of us don't have that level of awareness to really decipher what the conditioning of social mentality is. But as we go along with it and experience a little bit more, we can actually try to just be a little bit more comforting to people, be a little bit more nice to people. Fuck, man, at the end of the day, you putting that negative energy out there for other people is hindering your evolution itself. So don't get me started on a tangent, though.
I was gonna say, this is deep, man. This sounds like some straight Peru stuff.
It is, bro. And I guess this is a pretty good topic to discuss, like sharing what's on your mind too. Like, we should be allowed to share what's on our mind in a space, in a group of people, and be accepting of our points of view, but also be coachable to the point where we can actually take in other people's points of view and maybe change our way of doing things as well.
No, I agree, man. I mean, yeah, like you've got to have a healthy balance of being confident in who you are and what you're saying, but also being able to take constructive criticism, right? And I think that a lot of people confuse the two, right? Where, again, especially in this day and age, like whenever somebody gives constructive criticism, and obviously, like, there are ways where, you know, criticism is just criticism by itself. But, if somebody takes the time to try to present it in a healthy way and, something that is solid feedback that can, make you a better person, better individual, like, you should listen to it. And, I think being able to have the humility to be able to take a step back and listen to that, but also, the confidence in who you are to still be able to, express yourself. You've just got to find that healthy balance between the two.
Let's do a quick role play real quick, and then we'll move on to a different subject because it's kind of deep. But let's say you're walking down the streets of Miami, Kaleo, and you had just doxed yourself, and you posted something on Twitter 5 years ago. You don't even remember what the hell you posted. And somebody just comes up to you, starts verbally attacking you, verbally bashing you. Then a group gets around you, and they're pointing at you saying, this motherfucker this motherfucker that. Then you have a whole crowd. How do you handle that as a person?
Shoot, I'm trying to picture this, man. I would probably, like, if it's just one individual at the beginning, I'm a pretty chill dude. I would have the convo with them and, try to see what the heck's going on. And, if they just kept attacking me, I'd try to diffuse the situation and be like, well, all right, man, like, I'm just going to keep going this way. I'm sorry. There's obviously nothing I can say to change this for you. And then, like, if a crowd continues to come after, like, dude, I don't know. I mean, if there's a crowd coming after you because one person was yelling at you, like, that's just weird.
It sounds weird, but it happens. And that's why I want to do a role play to see, like, how you would handle that situation, because that stuff really does happen in this day and age. If somebody doesn't align with somebody that somebody says or agree with a specific ideology that they have, they're pretty aggressive. And being inside of a real life experience outside of this Twitter account here, it's reality at that point. And these things do happen a lot.
Here's my deal, Matt. Like, at the end of the day, I am confident in who I am. And, the majority of everything I say, like, if it's something I believe, I'm unapologetic for it. So, I will sit there and, I mean, hey, like, if there are people doing that, I will be confident and, say what I need to back. Like, I'm not going to sit there and try to escalate the situation. I wouldn't back down either, though. I mean, but it wouldn't be something where I'd sit there and, like, try to linger in it. If it was just looping back in some type of, escalating manner, then it's just not worth putting your time and effort into. Let the people yell and do whatever they want, but, like, that's on them. So I don't know. I mean,
Time and energy, buddy. You hit the nail on the head with it, man. You don't have the time and energy to deal with it. Just lead with
Yeah,
good love in your heart, and if they don't accept it, eventually maybe we'll pray for them. One day they will accept that love in their life, you know?
yeah, and I think that's the thing, though, man. Like, if people approached you because you were doxxed in that type of situation in the first place, and they came up to you, I almost feel like, from anybody's perspective, it would come off as them being the ones that were aggressive, approaching you and your privacy. Like, you didn't invite them into that space to begin with.
No, 110%, brother. It's just lead with love, man, and hope for the best, and it's what it is, man. Let's move on to something a little bit more positive, though. What we got cracking for the weekend? Anybody got some cool plans for the weekend, or are we just ramping up for this 1 year anniversary?
Well, since I'm a boomer, at this part of my life, I got a baby shower I have to go to on Saturday. My buddy, who's the best man at my wedding, their first kiddo, so that'll be a slobber knocker. Uh, Man, then I'm going to play a golf tournament on Sunday, so I'm going to booze it up, watch some football Saturday and Sunday, maybe make some sports bets, chill. What's everybody else got going? Nelsonius, what are you doing?
Nelsonius dropped down.
Oh, shit, he did.
Nelsonius ditched us, man. I'm sad. I'm just messing around. Oh, there he is. The legend's coming back.
Cube, who's your favorite football team?
Okay, so NFL going Denver Broncos.
Wait, not the Chiefs?
No. Funny story. So, I was John Elway for Halloween as a kid growing up, 3 years in a row. Someday I will reveal those pictures in my true identity. But no, growing up a Chiefs fan, in Chiefs country, I was always an Elway guy. And then go out, had some family friends. They had Broncos tickets, so I'd get to go out and watch the Broncos Chiefs every year. So I'm a diehard Denver fan. Russell Wilson has been disappointing this year, but he'll figure his shit out, I'm hoping. But AFC West is so damn competitive. Yeah, I don't know. Then college football, I root for anybody besides the SEC. I just can't stand it. I'm Big 12 country guy, K-State grad, so go Wildcats. What about you?
Oh, I'm Tampa Bay Buccaneers all day long, baby.
Yeah.
You know that. In college, I'm all about the U, man. University of Miami. Been a U fan since the 80s.
See, I was raised as a Nebraska fan. My parents went to UNL, so there was a good rivalry there between the Huskers and the old U back in the day.
Nelsonius, my brother, how you doing, man? We finally got you up here, bro.
I'm good. I didn't intentionally ditch you. I'm trying to juggle a couple things, but yeah, things are good. My only plan for this weekend is to try and recover my car finally. It it was stolen like a month ago. It was recovered, but then it was impounded so they could process it CSI style for 3 weeks. Then I got it back, but it was just a total train wreck. And now it's been at the dealership for 2 weeks. So
Would you have a soup kitchen?
What's that?
Would you have a soup kitchen?
Good reference. Bro, that's always one of my biggest fears now, Sony, is having my car stolen and then them finding my car. I almost feel like there's part of me, depending on what's in the vehicle, if there's something super sentimental in it, that just doesn't want it to be found after it happened.
Yeah. I've had a bunch of stuff stolen and and it's just kind of stuff. But this felt particularly violating because I had it caught on my home camera. So I when I can't find my car in the morning, I go out and I see 3 guys who are taking it. And then,
you
after
saw them taking it, or no, you saw the camera?
The camera, right? And so then, I'm filling out the police report and all this kind of stuff. 10 days go by. I'm mourning the loss of my car. taking public transportation to work like most other folks. And then I start looking at new cars, right? Or, used cars. And I'm like getting excited about, oh, what's going to be my new car? Like, oh, this will be fun, etc. And then they recover it. I'm like, all right, well, what's this going to be like? And, so I allowed them to process it because I was like, yeah, catch these people. They're like stealing cars all over the place. And when I get it back, it's like it just felt so dirty, right? So it just smelled like just, I don't want to say death because bad connotation, but it did not smell good, right? And the cops, even though they processed it, I'm not sure what they did. So I went in there. There's like, packages of like white shirts. There's bandages. There's like gloves. I found like a bag of weed in the console, like rolling papers, like all this other stuff, like, and I'm just like, and they'd driven it 1,500 miles, right? And so I'm like, something bad went down, right? And the only thing that was sentimental in there, I mean, nothing was sentimental, but they just it threw up my 2 car seats. That was like the personal loss I could claim, right? And so now I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna try and like detail this and ozone clean it and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I don't know, like, how am I gonna feel when I'm like driving this to work and be like, somebody committed a crime in this thing?
Did they not total it? I knew a few people who got their cars stolen, and if they like find any meth residue or like needles or anything, they total the car, and then they both got new cars.
Ooh.
So
So I mean, I don't know like what the police found. I don't know if they total it for finding weed, but yeah, I have no idea. But they did not total it. They after my deductible, I got like $47 back, and I was like, yeah, what about pain and suffering? What about like all this stuff? So, anyways, that's my weekend. I'm gonna recover my Jeep and see if I can wash the stink off my body. But besides that, yeah, no, I'm like super excited to be in Miami with a bunch of you folks, and I'm just like something definitely to look forward to. The last time I was in Miami was like 7 years ago when I was investigating a cruise ship outbreak, which again is not remotely as fun as Art Basil's going to be.
Yeah, hey, I've got one other question on all this, man. I'm just so. Was it a hot wire? Like, what? How did they end up, stealing it in the first place?
Yes. So this is a good question. And this is like my public service announcement. So there's like this new thing where they go around, they've got like a scanner. And so they can pick up your like RFID on your clicker, right? So what they do is they go down and they can access it from inside your home. So you got to get a Faraday box, right? Like, so that they can't steal your signal. We just bought, like $10 on Amazon. Or you can put it in like a coffee can with like some tinfoil or an Altoids box or whatever. But anyway, so they go and like toss cars every night. They just kind of like open them, look through. And so, I leave all of my like the side console and stuff like that open so they can see I don't have, any drugs or guns or money in there. But they opened it and my wife had but they can't start it, right? So they can get into your car. But my wife, her keys broke. And so she had her physical keys, but my key broke off her keychain. So they opened her car by accessing the RFID inside of our home, found my key fob, and then they're like clicking around. And so then they opened my car and they had a car sort of like driving alongside, 2 people tossing cars. They clicked my car, then got in and drove off.
That's insanity, man.
Dude, that is wild. I'm glad I asked about that because I have never heard anything along those lines ever happen.
No, yeah, and first, if they had used this like intelligence for good, they'd like beat cancer or something. But instead, they're going and just like, getting into everybody's cars. And so, you call the police and they're like, yeah, we don't have time for that. Like, there's like 50 or 100 cars stolen every day in Nashville. So there's like, yeah, whatever. But they're like stealing cars all over the place because people leave their keys in their car. But even if you don't do that, they're getting into your car and like sifting around every day, which, isn't great when you get up to go to work and you're like, oh, great, somebody, wiped a booger on my seat.
Have you? I had to come up here because I heard you talking about this. Have you heard about the Kia boys?
Yeah.
That shit is
And so, and
wild.
I only heard about that because I was looking at buying a Kia. And then I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
don't get a
hell
Kia
no.
or a Hyundai, dog. Some dude's just gonna, some like 15-year-old kid's gonna steal it with an iPhone charger, and just
Wait,
yeah,
what?
dude. They've been they and so in
Yeah, man.
Wisconsin here that like the quick summary is like they can steal your car with like an iPhone charger because there's some glitch with the Kia and the Hyundai is how they're made, the internals of the car. And since the Wisconsin law is if you're a minor, for Grand Theft Auto, you only do it's a misdemeanor if you're under the age of 18. So you have like kids stealing like hundreds of cars, and if they get caught, they go to jail for 2 weeks. And like there's a documentary on YouTube if you haven't seen it. Some guy just like goes out and like finds like, yo, do you know where the Kia boys are at? And like they're just stealing cars and just fucking driving like 80 down like a just a normal road, and like doing like just like they wobble, they call it like wobbling, and they just like take the steering wheel and just like shake it violently, and they're like it's insane. Like you gotta look up the Kia boys. It's just like Milwaukee is like where they're doing it a bunch, and like it's insane.
Well, I just am curious right now how they even steal it with a freaking iPhone charger.
Yeah. The best. So people are using like remember the stick like from the '90s, like the stick on the wheel.
Yeah.
Like people are doing that now. That's the only way to prevent it. Like they're going back. We're going back like 20 years.
You talking about the
The
club?
club. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah. You need the
shit!
club now. If you got a Kia or a Hyundai, you need a club.
I had a club on one of my first cars. It was a 1994 Mitsubishi Eclipse. It had no windows on it. It had no locks for the door handle where I could put a key in it. So I always had to put the freaking club on, man.
Dude, yeah, we're going back in time, man. Don't. Yeah, if anyone's prospectively is trying to buy a Kia or a Hyundai, don't do it. And especially if you live in Wisconsin, don't do it.
Yeah, not only that, but people are also popping air tags on people's cars and like tracking them and shit now too.
Dude, the AirTag thing, yeah, that could be scary. I've heard that happen with girls where, they go home from a bar and they've got a random AirTag. But the thing is, I think that as long as you have an iPhone, you kind of have an idea of what's happening with that. But,
Yeah,
if you don't have an
it'll pop
iPhone,
up
I
on
don't
their
know if it
phone.
alerts like a Samsung or something.
Yeah, if you do have an iPhone, it'll eventually pop up on your phone. This actually just happened to one of my
Yeah,
friends.
the AirTag beeps if you're not nearby. So I don't know, or maybe does it beep all the time?
Yeah,
I'm not
no, it
100%
beeps when your iPhone's not near it. So
Ah.
if it's in your bag, like I have your AirTag in my backpack,
Yeah.
and it beeps.
Do you
and you're
secretly
not
have AirTags on me?
I know where you are all the time.
That's hilarious. That is funny. Oh, dude, I don't know, man. There are a lot of things like that out there. I guess that's why I'm bullish on cars in the metaverse. I don't think the Kia boys can touch those.
You're gonna have the Kia hackers.
Yeah, have you never played GTA Online, Kaleo? Motherfuckers will steal your shit quick.
I'm just messing around, dude. Like, I don't know. It shows you that shit is vulnerable, whether it is online, whether it's physical, whatever it is. But it's sad. I was talking to somebody recently. I'm not going to disclose their identity. actually, pretty big name. But, they're not crypto native. And they recently just had all of their wallet completely stolen because they were airdropped a pudgy hoodie. And they thought that the pudgy hoodie was their actual pudgy. So they just had their wallet completely wiped out. And I felt so bad. They lost like a mutant, some other stuff along with it. But they told me about it and they were like, well, I just saw this pudgy hoodie that I had to claim it. So I went and I claimed it. And then by claiming the pudgy hoodie, they gave access to everybody. So, announcement again, I know everybody in here has, a fairly decent idea of stuff. Like if you see something random pop up in your MetaMask wallet or OpenSea wallet, whatever it is, like, dude, just don't touch it. Ignore it. If you don't remember purchasing it yourself, or you don't know exactly who sent it to you and it's from a verified collection, don't touch it.
So we actually had a question pop up in the Room 110 Discord yesterday, and I don't know if anyone has a direct answer for this. Is it possible to get your wallet compromised by accepting a WETH offer? Because I know some shady stuff happens on Polygon, and I'm not sure exactly how it happens as well. They'll airdrop like a scam NFT with like a 0.8 WETH offer on it. And by accepting that, WETH on Polygon, or whatever it is on Polygon, I've never used the chain. And somehow by accepting it, you end up compromising your wallet. Is the same thing possible on the Ethereum chain as well?
Dude, I think there's just like an inherent flaw. I feel like maybe it's just like being like a nascent market, but where you spend more time focusing on scamming than like doing stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like you said. I think at Nelson, you said like, yeah, this if they spend as much time like, instead of like trying to like steal cars and like I don't know if they're going to cure cancer, but I think you could use that the time more positively. But I mean, I think that's really just maybe chalk it up to being an early market adopter, and you got to deal with the bullshit. It's like, what is it? Like, it's like you're dealing with like Trojan horse attacks, like like back in the day, fucking open like junk mail and stuff. It's the same thing. It's just recycled, and now it's you just need to be more aware. And I don't know like what it takes if cybersecurity evolves. I don't really understand it that well, but I know. I just don't click on anything. I don't respond to anyone, so I think I'm relatively safe. But they still get brute forced, and there's other you can't think of, but you can't you can only like cover so many vectors, I guess, of attack. But like I feel like most people don't really. The problem is most people don't even do the basics in the space because I think it's I don't know what the problem is, but where everyone assumes it can't happen to them, and then when it finally does, they're just like, oh shit, I should have done X, Y, and Z. But
Right, no, exactly. But I guess more of my question is like, so if I had, let's say I had an ape, right, in my wallet and someone offered me like 1 ETH on a Wonky Stonk, would it theoretically be possible for my wallet to be compromised by accepting that offer on one of my stonks?
I don't think it's I think it's basically the NFT itself. I don't know if accepting the offer, unless you accept some like fake ETH or something, some scam. I mean, I think in those cases it's a different kind of attack where you're just getting scammed and you sell it for free, basically. If you accept like a fake ETH or something.
Right,
But
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
What
I didn't
about
think it was.
what about sending them to your hidden folder? You guys ever do that?
Yeah, you can send it to the hidden folder, but you just have to be careful, not accepting it, sending like actually because sending it to the hidden folder, you're not actually interacting, with the like you just have to be careful where you're like, well, I don't want this in my wallet anymore. So then you send it to a different burn wallet or something, because a lot of the times if you end up sending it to an actual different wallet, then you are, you're doing something where you're signing some type of permissions in the transaction. You can potentially lose your shit. But if you're just, sending it to like the hidden whatever, like you're fine.
Yeah, the hidden
And
folder,
also,
like sending it to a hidden folder is just a front end transaction, so it doesn't affect anything. You're not approving anything. You're not signing anything. But
I was gonna
don't.
ask another thing too. When you send, like, say you have an ape in a ledger and you're sending it to another ledger, like let's say same ledger Nano S or X or whatever. Do you have to enable blind signing for that? Because I was confused about that feature that they put in there.
Shoot, man, I can't answer that one.
No,
I don't know. From ledger to ledger, I'm not sure.
because
Actually,
I was gonna maybe get a new ledger personally, and that's why I was thinking about that, and I was wondering like what the complications of sending an NFT from cold to cold were.
I don't see, why it would be different from any other transaction, but again, I haven't done it personally, so I can't tell you.
No, yeah, I just wanted to hop up in space and see if anybody's familiar with that, because I was planning on doing that.
No, I wish I had, man. Again, there's just so many little things like that, dude, I feel like a lot of the answers to those questions, you don't learn it until you actually go out and do it. And yeah, I don't know. So
It just bugs me because, like, on Ledger, they say the NFT feature is, like, experimental. And I really don't like that verbiage they use.
no, yeah.
It makes it.
When you transfer from a hot wallet to a ledger, it says like safe transfer from, so like what's going on. I just don't know if it's the same thing from like a ledger to ledger, if you have to enable the blind signing there, or if there's any signing to do, and if they're both trusted. I'm not 100% sure.
Can anyone explain that blind signing thing? Because I was wondering, like, what if I connected my Ledger to my OpenSea and then enabled blind signing, and someone just sent me a WETH offer for like 0.1 WETH? Like, would that just accept like automatically because the blind signing feature is enabled? That's like what I wanted to know too, because I don't know how many people actually put their ape on cold storage versus just keeping it on MetaMask.
Again, bro, I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I had a better answer for you. I won't lie. This sounds bad, but I don't really use a ledger in cold storage for most of my NFT collection. So, I think down the road, maybe as I start to collect a few more one of ones, whatever else, like, might end up doing that. But, at the moment, just haven't really had anything to trigger what I felt like as the need to do it yet. But, I think that there is, a time and a place where people should be careful for it, especially, if you've got something extremely valuable on a wallet that, you are doing a bunch of interactions with, right? You shouldn't, I think, keep those type of NFTs on them, especially if you're doing a bunch of mints, being a complete degenerate, you're just opening the door for a possibility of losing that shit by accepting some type of, signing some type of transaction you didn't even know you gave a permission to. And, that's what we've seen across the board with a bunch of these different quote unquote hacks on different wallets are just people, I don't want to say being greedy. Being greedy is one answer, but, sometimes just being ignorant to what they're signing. And, next thing you know, boom, it's gone.
Yeah, I was like, personally, if I was using like MetaMask, I would just I would just not use that laptop, like, period, or that computer. I would just set it aside, because I'm sure if you log into your email on a separate laptop than your MetaMask account and you get that phishing email, I'm not sure, and like, don't hold me to this, but I don't think that would trigger a transaction in your MetaMask account on another desktop or laptop. But I could be wrong. I'm not sure. The only reason I'm trying to
I think
transfer from ledger to ledger is because I'm like paranoid, hyper nervous about like if anybody's like been in my safe. I'm just like one of those guys who's like fucking hyper paranoid.
I think I'm gonna.
I think there's a tool now that they created to see like whenever everything you sign, like what it entails, or if it's malicious or not. I forgot the name of the fucking tool though, but there's something out there.
It's pretty simple, and I think it's been said a couple times. Just don't click on shit that you have no idea what it is. Like if it appeared in your wallet magically, it's probably not there to make you rich. It's there to fuck you. So just be mindful of what you are doing in this space and what you are connecting your wallets to. Verify, 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 verify.
And it's easy. It's much easier to be cognizant in the bear market when everything's moving slower too. But definitely something that you need to be hyper aware of during the next bull market too, to not completely wipe out
Sorry,
all
I'm
your
eating lunch too,
progress.
but I was going to say, even when you're moving stuff, you always want to make sure, the check mark or whatever is fine. Like, you always want to like go a little bit deeper and seeing like the transaction history, making sure that's like the actual NFT that you're trying to, transact with. And I'm sure, if you have a lot of one collection, like I'm sure a hacker will see that and just try to slip something in there. But it should pop up though as like you have to approve all for that one, since it's a separate collection. I don't think they could ever really slip anything in there that's part that would fall into the original collection. But it's just something to think about.
I was in a space the other day and someone was saying how like someone got hacked from their ledger because they figured out like a software to change the address on your physical ledger device to a different wallet address. And I thought that was pretty crazy. So I don't know how um what's the word? How good they're like actually getting at this, to be honest with you, because that's pretty scary.
It's always going to be a competition, man. It's been going on for millennia. We're just here in technology now, and people are just always trying to scam, man. It's a hustle. We always
If
have
there's
to be on our toes,
if there's one thing I've taken away from this conversation, it is that like I am not going to have a ledger that is, in a Kia either. Like, the combination of both just seems extremely dangerous. So, if you're making those transactions, Bob, find a better place than a Kia to be able to store it.
I've got the answer. I just found it, and it's from Phil Hartman, Saturday Night Live, the Chameleon XLE. Has anyone seen that?
No, but I'm going to Google it right now. Probably 90% of the people on this space probably have no idea who Phil Hartman is either. So.
Oh my gosh! Well, maybe Cube, you, and me do, but but it's like it is a classic SNL where it's like this piece of shit car, so that nobody steals it, and then on the inside it's a luxury car. It's amazing.
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about now. I just Googled it. That brought back some memories, man. That's hilarious.
That's what like Kanye was trying to do with his clothes, right? Make it so shitty, but the price tag so that's like rich people troll, but it's like it makes sense. Like make something so like indistinguishable, but everyone knows how much you actually paid for it if they have money. Kind of makes sense.
If there was one
It's like
thing,
I'm wearing this $4,000 Balenciaga trash bag, but it's worth $4,000.
What are you gonna say, Rooster? Oh, did he drop?
Yep, he rugged himself. I'll bring him back up. Give him one more chance. All right, hit him with your question.
Rooster, you're up, brother.
It's probably
He's
gonna
still rugging us.
It's gonna be something bacon related.
Or he's on that new bagel sandwich tip right now, man.
Yeah, I saw kolache for the first time at like a coffee shop, at some hipster coffee shop. last week,
Oh,
actually. I just
you
thought about it.
finally
Is
did it.
is it
Yeah.
a Texas kolache though? There's a huge
No,
difference.
I don't know what it was. Did I take a picture of it? It was just like I don't know if it was a standard one or not. I don't even know what a standard kolache is at this point, but
I mean, what was inside of it?
Texas style kolaches, light, airy, fluffy buns surrounding delicious savory fillings like scrambled eggs, bacon, spinach, and more.
And they call it a Texas style kolache.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, that sounds it. Like the question is, are they any good or not? I've been to some places that, like, the bread does not feel light, airy, fluffy. You're like, oh yeah, this just isn't it.
Yeah, they weren't serving them at that time. They stopped at like noon, and I was like 3:30, and I was grabbing a coffee. But I got to get there early enough. I feel like Adam Sandler when he gets to the McDonald's and Big Daddy. It's like, what do you mean you don't serve these? But at 3:30 is a little ridiculous, though. I feel like that's
The
feels
best
like
kolaches
12,
come from
15.
like a mom and a pop shop in like maybe a two business type plaza next to a gas station in Texas. Those are always the best. They always have fresh donuts and fresh kolaches, and you'll never expect it, but they are the most fire.
Yo, what's a kolache? The fuck? Never
Dude,
heard
it's
of this.
wild how many people
Dude, I'm
don't know
from the
what a
Midwest, bro.
kolache
I've never
is.
heard of this shit, man. Like, what?
Yeah, here we go again.
Okay, basically, man, it's just like a dinner roll, stuffed with, like Bogfather was talking about, breakfast. So like, bacon, egg, cheese, bacon, egg, sausage. You could have, heck, just sausage and cheese. You could have
Sausage,
brisket,
jalapeno, and
brisket,
cheese.
egg
Can't
and
skip
cheese,
over that.
spinach, egg and cheese. I mean, heck, there are some sweet kolaches that officially are kolaches as well, that have jam or whatever else in them. But I almost like, I don't know, man, those feel kind of like more like a donut to me than a kolache. I like when I picture kolache, I picture savory.
Dude, I don't know how I'm this old and have never heard that food
Oh, yeah.
before.
Then
That's
there's also,
hilarious.
It
another
wasn't
great
just
one,
you.
like sausage and gravy. That's another great flavor.
So it's like a pierogi kind of, but like a breakfast sandwich pierogi.
I don't even know what a pierogi is, bro.
It's like
Yeah, what
I'm
the
not
fuck is a
yeah.
pierogi?
The only I mean I'm not Polish. But like a lot of people from my town are, or my hometown were. So that's like a Polish like croissant filled with like
It's like a Polish
what?
hot pocket.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's like a Polish hot pocket.
Bro, I
That's the
looked it
best
up.
way.
A pierogi looks bro. A pierogi looks like a freaking what do you call them from the Asian restaurants? Not a wonton.
Dumpling.
Yeah, it looks like a dumpling.
Yeah, no, for sure it does. Those are pretty good.
Pierogies don't really have mashed potatoes inside of them, by the way, which is kind of it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is not a kolache.
Not at all.
Or we need to start naming these spaces kolache spaces, man. I feel like we always bring up a kolache every once in a while.
I'll work on getting a kolache factory up here one week.
Kolache collection NFT.
A rare collection of 3,000 kolaches on the blockchain.
What you were saying earlier before I kept getting rugged by my complex calling me. I don't know if it's just me, but if there's one thing that I got from this conversation as well, in line with yours, is you also won't get scammed if you just hang back and buy Wonky Stonks and just keep your activity to that.
Let's go. All right, baby. Speaking about wonkies, man, listen, let's talk about this for a second. For the past couple weeks, I've been sitting here, like, going through Twitter, trying to find stuff that is, like, important memories to me. And hopefully that'll be important memories to the people that I'm tweeting it out to, this family, this wonky family. Like, going through this and seeing the evolution of where we started. I remember hopping on my first freaking space with Kaleo and this small family. And now here we are, man, a year later, We've accomplished so much. We are the OG stealth mint free generative art project. Like, it is a beautiful, beautiful accomplishment, what we have done together, the vibes we have shared. And I get goosebumps because I would have never, ever, ever imagined, and I'm sure every single one of you too, never would have imagined here we are a year later, just growing together and living this beautiful experience together.
That was beautiful. I'm gonna cry. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I agree completely with you, right? I never envisioned this to, I guess grow and evolve into what it's become today. I mean, heck, even going into it at the beginning, it just completely pure experimental drop to be able to, I guess bring a new audience into NFTs that really hadn't experienced it before, but the plan the entire time was just the vibes with it. And, hey, the fact that we're still here and the fact that we're still going, like it's really cool, man, just to see, like you said, the growth in everybody in this community and, you know, persistence, even when the market conditions right now aren't what they were a year ago, it's just one of those things where it's like, the persistence and the desire to continue to grow, in all aspects of this space has been something really encouraging to watch and inspiring too.
I definitely want to encourage everybody to, like, if you've been in this project for, since the beginning, since a minute, or if you're still new here, go through the Ledger Twitter account, go through your own Twitter account, see the Discord, go do a search. You want to know what the history of 661 is? Go search bar in the Discord. You'll see all the vibes from last year. You want to see what we've accomplished, go in there. Feel it. Ingest it in. Like, really, really take it home, because this is history that has been made this year. And you have all been a part of it. And to reflect on that history to where we're at now, it'll light a fire inside of you. So I definitely encourage that, man.
Yeah, man. And, like that, it's what it's all about. You've got to be cognizant to be able to go back and, not just, I think to be able to continue to grow healthily, doing what you're doing and going back and remembering where you came from and kind of how it started and studying that process is a huge part of that.
Oh, 110%, man. I mean, it's like that for everything we do in life. Every experience we've ever been, it's always good to reel in that past and to really take that growth and to find the lessons, find the vibes, find the fun that you had, and really, really, put that into practice for the future, because that's all fuel for your future to keep evolving. Love you guys. Love all of you. Guys, girls, the whole Wonky family. We'll vibe a little harder the next Wednesday for sure. We'll talk about all this.
Yeah, y'all. So unfortunately, I got to go ahead and close out the space here, but, be on the lookout for this next week. This next Wednesday is the the 1 year anniversary. We're doing a space then. And, I am going to make this poker tournament happen. Got to figure it out. It has to happen. So, yeah, that will also be going down next week as well. Be on the lookout. Yeah, love you guys. Appreciate having all y'all up here.
Kaleo, real quick, I can easily set up the poker tournament and have it ready for when everybody wants to play. Just make an announcement with the time. You have the largest reach. And then, yeah, I can set it all up when it needs to be done and take care of that.
All right, dude. Do we want to decide on it right now? Should we?
Yeah, let's make a date and time right now.
Okay, here's the question. Rooster, with the way that you've done this in the past, these typically take how many hours to resolve?
I mean, I can just manually set that with increasing blinds, depending on how many players we think we're going to have, just by the blind increase. But the way that I've been playing mostly Winners take typically about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
I say, like, dude, one of my AirPods just dropped. I can't find where it went. But I say that we shoot for, Wednesday before / leading into the space.
What time is the space on Wednesday?
Noon, I think we said. Or
so we can do noon Eastern. We can do a little bit later than that if that's too,
I'd say space is at noon Eastern, so it's 10 a.m. my time. We can start it at the same time. We can start the game, 30 minutes into the space as well, and give everyone a last reminder. For that.
I like that. Yeah. So the space can kind of be the kickoff for it of, hey, this is starting. And, we can even have people commentating on it as we get going with it.
Yeah. Live.
I love
action
that.
Plays.
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
Question. Right. Is this something we want to make holders only or a large outreach?
I'm almost leaning, I'm okay with either, but I'm almost leaning toward a larger outreach just because, when you're looking at it, I think it'd be fun to be able to expand the competition, be able to bring other people in and kind of just celebrate across everywhere. But, if we want to do it holders only, or heck, if we want to do multiple and do a holders only one also, we can do that too. It's whatever. I'll let y'all vote on that.
Yeah, I'm okay with either. There's just a layer of security when it comes to people trying to multi-account, but I don't think that shouldn't be really an issue, but I'll try and just circumvent that by anyone who wants to join just has to message me and the general message and the stonks that they've requested to join, and then I can accept them.
Love it, man. I like it. You know what? Yeah, screw it. Let's just make it holders only. That'll make it easy for you.
Holders only. Sounds good. Yeah, so
and,
if anyone wants to play poker, go get you a stonk right now.
I was going to say, too, Rooster, do we need to make a channel, or are we just going to do it in the Discord, or how's that going to go below?
No, yeah, we'll just make an announcement for the date and time in the Discord, and just keep all the information in the Discord.
Awesome. And Kay, whenever you get a couple hour or couple minutes free, next couple days, check the mods channel if you don't mind.
Will do.
All right, brother.
All
Later,
right.
guys. Later, fam.
Love you guys. Enjoy the weekend.
Later, guys.